Hi guys, Katya here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are doing just some growth updates because my plants have really been thriving in the past few weeks, and I think it's due to the fact that summer is here and temperatures are higher and everything is just growing like a weed. I actually had to choose the plants that I was gonna show because I'm getting so much new growth and I can't show it all in one video, so I've decided to choose those who have brought me the most happiness. Hope that makes sense. So let's dig in. I'm gonna start off with Philodendron and Chrysum. You've actually seen this one in my Velvety Philodendron collection. Let me show you first, okay, what's the deal about. Now, they have beautiful velvet leaves. I mean, that's obvious why I like them, but they're so dark. And the fact is, I've actually grown this guy from a stem cutting, and to be getting leaves in the size of my palm is already pretty damn impressive. I mean, I do have small palms, but it's still a big leaf, you know, and they're actually pushing out 2 new leaves. There are two plants in this pot because I wanted a full pot of Melanochrysum, but I'm not so sure if I should keep them in this pot because they seem kind of crowded and I do want them to get a moss ball to climb, so I will see. I'll most likely split the bigger one and put it on a moss pole just so the leaves can get even longer than that, and for the smaller one we'll see. Definitely one of my favorites. Okay, let's move to this. This is Mycotis petola. It's actually it's called jewel orchid as well, and they have this very bright veins that resemble lightning, and it's just one of the most striking plants that I've ever seen. And let me tell you that the pictures and videos, they don't do it justice, okay? It started to grow, let me get it out of the pot actually. Started to grow some aerial roots as well. I do keep it just in a pure sphagnum moss because this is what I've got it with, and it had some rods, so I thought this was the best medium. Haven't checked on the roots yet, but it seemed happy. Another thing I'd mention, I do keep it in a pretty low light situation, and I think this is why the leaves kinda keep staying dark, because you'll see some of the Mycotis online and have the bright green leaves. I do have one baby of Mycotis petola as well, and she's growing a new leaf, which is pretty exciting too. Moving on, this guy. So I bought this plant last year, I think it was last year. It was imported from Thailand, and I bought it as a cross between Anthurium forgetii and crystallinum. Now, is it true? I don't know. You don't know with imports really, because anything that comes from Thailand has probably been hybridized at one point. I don't know, we're just gonna keep it calling forgetii cross with crystallinum, I suppose. Now, this plant really needed some time to rehab when I got it. And this is one of the original leaves that it came with. It's actually kind of yellowing away, but that's okay. And the first leaf that it grew in my care is actually this guy. Let me see if I can get a good angle. There we go. So it is pretty small, as you can see, and then it was supposed to push out another leaf, but there just wasn't any leaf. It wasn't stuck in a petiole or sheet or anything, so it kind of skipped a leaf. Then it pushed out this big boy, which is just happiness. I mean, it is in the size of my head, and look at my palm. It's huge. I think it's done hardening now, so I'm gonna get some more of the dark green color. I mean, I knew it was gonna be a big leaf based on the fact that it had thick petiole, but this big? No, I would never guess. Now let me just get you a close-up of this leaf, as it is absolutely beautiful. It's really one of my favorite Anthuriums right now, just because it pushed out this big leaf, and I'm a sucker for big heart-shaped velvety sparkly leaves. I recently put it in a plastic pot and it has been growing roots like crazy, which is also a good thing to see. Pretty carefree Anthurium in my experience. Okay, so the next one. The next one is my Philodendron glorious. You've actually seen it as well, and it was just pushing out a new leaf, which has now fully unfurled, and I think it's somewhat done hardening. They come out with a tinge of orange because it is a cross between Philodendron gloriosum and Melanochrysum, but I do also have pink back seals, and that's kind of like gloriosum thingy. has graduated from a moss to a soil, which is pretty good. Been keeping it on heat mat just so it can handle the transformation better. So we're making a new leaf. I mean, the petiole sheet is getting thicker, so I'm excited to see a new one of this one pretty soon. Okay, we're gonna do a big one now. Please let me not damage anything. Please, 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 please. Okay. Okay. So, using this one as well. This is Philodendron Splendid. It's a cross between Philodendron verrucosum and Melanochrysum. Definitely one of my favorites. It has recently just pushed out this new leaf. The older one has fully hardened yet. So 2 of the older leaves are actually yellowing and losing their color. But that's kind of okay since they're older leaves. I do fertilize it often, so it's not a fertilizing issue. So when your plant has yellowing leaves, you actually should leave them on, because during this time the plant is actually transporting all the useful nutrients from the leaves back to the stem. So if you cut a leaf that has a lot of green in it, you're actually depriving the plant of the nutrient that it has stored in the leaves. So this is why I always like to kind of wait for the leaves to yellow before I cut them off. So this is why I'm still keeping them on. They look ugly, but hey, the plant is doing its thing. Now let me get you the close-up of the new leaf. It's absolutely beautiful. It has thread abaxials as well. I do hope it's gonna grow. I knew that one came out small as well, but it did grow significantly once it unfurled. And we already have a new leaf growing. Also, another growth update. This guy has been growing crazy on the moss ball, and there are actually roots pretty damn everywhere. Like, they grew from all the damn nodes that are hitting the moss ball. Crazy. I mean, it's kind of calling to be propagated, but I do want it to get more bigger leaves before I propagate, just so I can keep the top of the leaves and not lose the maturity. Stunning babe. Oh boy. Please, 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 please. There we go. Alrighty, the next guy is this little babe. This is Philodendron Burley Marks Variegata. It's a cutting that I took from my mother plant, and it pushed out this beautiful variegated leaf, and it's working on a new one as well, which should unfurl in the coming days. So the story with this one is my mother plant had stem rot, like in the middle of a stem. It wasn't like at the end or at the top, so I obviously had to cut it. And while I was at it, I decided I was gonna propagate it. So I do have a few of Burley Marks babies now. I did plan to sell it, but we'll see. It's a cutie pie. Anyways, this is my pride and joy. It was one of the first rare Anthuriums that I got. This is supposed to be Anthurium crystallinum. I tried to get ID for this guy, and let me tell you the names I was given. Crystallinum, Silver Blush, Crystal Hope, Crystallinum Silver, Lada Lada Lada. And now, let me tell you why do I think this is not a pure crystallinum, because if you know, crystallinums have round petioles, but this guy doesn't. It actually has 2 ridges on the petiole. So it's not a pure crystallinum. It probably has been hybridized with magnificum at some point, but I don't really know. It also kinda has teriyaki features because it has round leaves and they kinda fold upwards, and the petioles are not too long either, so I don't know. Anyways, close-up of the new leaves, because it is pretty special. So this new leaf still is in the process of hardening, so it's not fully hardened yet, but it does have some of the markings that the other leaves don't really have. And I'm not sure why is that. I was suggested many things, such as, you know, pests, mosaic virus, fertilizing, etc, etc, but I fertilize all my plants regularly. There are no pests that I'm aware of, and I don't have any plant with mosaic virus. So I guess it's just a special leaf with a birthmark. You can go to a conclusion and call it variegation, but I kinda don't wanna, you know, hop on that train when you're not really sure about it. Here's the thing why this plant is going crazy at the moment. So this leaf has not even unfurled yet because it is still fluffy, but it's already putting out a new one. Like, what the hell? When I got this plant, this was the biggest leaf. And then endured that one. this one, that one, and now we are left with this beautiful babe. So that's for some sort of Anthurium crystalline hybrid. And last but not least is my Syngoniums. So those are the two Syngoniums that I imported in start of this year. It came as a one plant, but it had bad shipping because they packaged it in plastic bags, so it kind of just turned into mush. And when I received it, it had like one leaf that was good, and that was the unfurling leaf. The other ones kind of just rotted in that bag. It was disgusting. So this is actually the base of the plant. It had like a long stem that I tried to propagate, but I wasn't successful with it because it just rotted. So Syngonium stem propagation isn't for me, and we've learned that. So this is the top cutting that I took. I did air layer it at first, and as soon as I repotted it, it kind of unfurled this leaf. This one got stuck in the sheet and there was actually residue of this leaf. But then it pushed out pure white leaf, which got me a bit worrying because there wasn't much variegation on the stem. But now it's pushing out another leaf, which has some green, so we're good to go. I mean, I'd never expect from such healthy variegated plant to put out a purely white leaf and leaves with such high variegation, but I guess that can happen. So this is the base of the plant. It's actually one of my favorites, to be honest. Oh, it's growing roots. Now it had roots, but they weren't dead, but they weren't alive either. It was like a mix where you don't know if it's rotten, is it just dehydrated. I kept them in water for like a month and nothing happened. I kept them in moss and nothing happened, and I was like, they're not rotten, so I just potted it up because I didn't know what to do at that point, and it's actually growing roots. Not sure you can see, there are tiny roots there. The first leaf that it put out is this one, which is pretty small and beautiful, and from that point on it just got beautiful. It was actually pushing like half moon leaves. That these two guys here, they're just beautiful, especially this leaf. I'm digging this variegation so much. But then pushed out this guy, which is I can't decide which type of variegation I like more, and it's beautiful, and it's actually way bigger than the other ones, and it's already pushing out a new leaf. So yeah, these guys are incredibly fast growers. They do sit right under my grow light, and I do like tons of light, and I also keep them on my heating mat just because when I put them there they were sort of in a process of still developing roots. So if you have a chance to get this one for like a decent price, I would suggest it because they're like low maintenance, high reward plants. So I think this was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. So if you have any questions, please ask me down in the comments, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you next time. Bye!